All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're now joined by UCLA head coach Corey Close and student athletes Kiki Rice and Lauren Betts. We'll get us started with We'll get us started with an opening statement from Coach Close, and then followed by questions in the room and then on Zoom if time allows for the student athletes. Coach Close.
Jim is such an excellent coach. Creighton is such a good team, so well coached. When that bracket came out, I thought this could be our hardest game. I know what they're capable of. I've watched them several times this year, but also through the years. And I knew that their style of play would really challenge us, and it obviously did. And so those seniors for Creighton have accomplished so much, and they are such a good basketball team. And just really want to give a shout out to how much respect we have for the way they play and just how competitive they are. They're a really good team. Secondly, I want to just say, wow, our crowd, they carried us. I thought in the third quarter, the energy that they gave us was so key. And I just know how much goes into that from everybody in our support staff, marketing, sports information, everybody that poured into us having that opportunity to have such a great crowd. 5:30 on a Monday night is not easy, and they got it done. But I thought the crowd was a total difference maker. And then lastly, I'm just so proud of our team. I'm proud of their selflessness. I'm proud of their growth mindset. I'm proud of their ability to have a next play speed mentality when things weren't going our way. And, to respond and hold them to 21 points in the second half was tremendous. And we knew it was going to have to come with our defense. And then they had to adjust, and they started sending 2 and 3 people to Lauren, and we knew we had to attack off the bounce, and I thought Charisma and Kiki were just tremendous in some real critical moments. But it was all done with our defense in the second half. We have a phrase, and you've heard me say it a lot of times, but sometimes me, sometimes you, always us. And this was an us kind of win, and I'm so proud of the selflessness of this team.
All right, we're going to open up to questions in the room for the student athletes. We'll start in the second row in the pink shirt.
Kiki, two things. What was the defensive adjustment or change in the second half? And then in the third quarter, I think you had 13 points. You had that kind of look of determination on your face. What were you feeling that allowed you to take over the game at that point?
Yeah, first, defensively, I think, we had a great game plan. Coach Tony put together a great scout, and I think in the first half we, didn't completely follow that to the best of our abilities. So in the second half, we got together as a team, talked about transition defense, communicating on all their actions, and just getting back to defending and executing the scout. And that really helped us in the second half. And then in terms of the third quarter for me, I just felt like, this is obviously at this point in the season, it's one game and you're out. So I just knew that I needed to do whatever I had to do to, help my team win, whether that was, feeding the ball to Lauren. Lauren was so great in there, scoring, doing whatever. And I think I just was focused on that.
We're going to go in the third row.
Joe Reedy, AP. Lauren, how did it feel being back in the lineup, and what was it like in the second half when they just kept sending 2 and 3 at you, and it seemed like it was really tough traffic there in the paint?
At some point they're not going to let me play one-on-one. They saw how that was going, so I think that they needed to, obviously, we knew at some point they were going to change their game plan, but I have so much trust and so much faith in my teammates that they're going to get open. And we work on that all the time. That's everyone's game plan against me. They're going to double team, triple team me. So I just think that that's what we work on in practice, and obviously it showed today, and my teammates did a really good job cutting off me. So.
And then, Kiki, how much did that open the paint up for you to drive because they were flooding the paint going after Lauren?
Yeah, it totally changed the game. I mean, when Lauren's in there, they're sending multiple people to her. So I know that every time any guard on the perimeter really can drive, and Lauren's going to seal, get open, and we're going to have a good attack lane.
We're going to go in the second row in the black blazer.
Corey Jumpman, Creightonian. Lauren, it felt like there was an adjustment made when you were guarding break to back off her in the second half. How did that impact your ability to protect the rim when you weren't having to go out and guard someone on the perimeter against that 5-out offense?
Yeah, well, 14. Yeah, like he said, Coach Tony put together a really great game plan, and obviously, she's more of a passer than a scorer, so I think that's just we worked on in practice, and I think that was just my whole job, is to protect the paint, not let them get easy layups. I think in the first half I didn't do a great job of that, but the second half I did a lot better. So
We're going to go in the second row in the middle, in the black top.
Hi, Haley Sawyer, SoCal News Group. I know limiting the three-point attempts was a big emphasis for you guys tonight, so how do you feel like you did in that area, especially in that first half compared to the second half? They got off 16 tonight, I think.
We'll have Kiki answer first and then followed by Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, they're a fantastic three-point shooting team. They hit contested threes and open threes, so we knew we had to really run them off the line and force them into tough two-point jumpers. And I think in the first half, we didn't really do that very well. They got a lot of transition threes and good looks, but in the second half, we forced them into tougher shots. And I don't know how many they got off, but I definitely think it was less.
what she said, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was just communication at the end of the day. Like, we can do it. We work on it all the time. We're one of the best defensive teams in the nation. We just got to put our minds to it and communicate, and that's all there is to it. So
We're going to go in the second row on the far end.
Chase Wade, News for Us Online. I just want to say great game tonight, guys. Very back-to-back fourth. What are you guys going to do for these two victories to keep the momentum going for the next game?
We'll have Kiki answer and then Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, I think we watch film. We'll watch film from this game, see the areas that we can do better, and then prepare for our next opponent, which is LSU. And I think we're really going to have good focused practices and scouts over these next few days and just get prepared to play another really good team.
yeah, like she said, I just don't think we have a lot of time to focus on each win. We just have to move on. So, right now, it feels good right now, but we got to focus on our next game and just get ready for that. And I know our coaches are going to do a really good job of just keeping us present and making sure we work hard every day in practice. So.
Okay. Our next question is going to be in the front corner, near side.
Gavin Carlson, Daily Bruin. For both players, could you just talk about sort of Charisma's ability to lead by example? It felt like throughout the game she was full court pressing almost on her own, forcing turnovers. She had that one jump ball, and even in a night where she only made 2 shots, just talk about her impact on the floor.
We'll start with Kiki and then go to Lauren.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best things about Charisma is that she doesn't need to have to score to impact the game. And in the first half especially, she was struggling with making some shots that she knows she can make and she normally makes. But her defensive intensity and her focus, it really carried us.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Charisma. She's just a tough player. I mean, she doesn't need to score. She works so hard, and she's such a great example for the rest of us sophomores who are trying to get like her. And I just think that she brings so much energy, and so it doesn't really matter what she's doing out there. You know that she's going to bring something to the team, no matter if it's points or whatever. Yeah.
We're going to go in the second row in the black blazer.
In her opening statement, Coach Close mentioned how the crowd impacted the game. What was it like on the court when the crowd was getting into it in that early fourth quarter?
We'll start with Kiki and then go to Lauren.
No, it was so great. I mean, playing in front of all the incredible fans that came out, it was just so much fun, and it made the comeback that much better, and the energy felt great in the gym. Sometimes it was hard to hear our own play calls, but that was fun. It was just great support, and we really enjoyed that.
Yeah, just super thankful for everyone who came to show out on a Monday night. It's not easy, so I'm just really thankful for everyone that got here. And yeah, like he said, it was just so loud at one point that I could not hear what she was saying, so I was just trying to guess the play that we were running at that point. But yeah, just really great crowd, and I'm really thankful for all the fans. So
We got time for one more. It's going to be in the front here on the left side in the black top.
Fredo Cervantes here with TG Sports. Kiki, in the second half there, you guys were trailing by 10. And what was going through your mindset as you kind of went off with 17 points in the second half? What was going on there?
I think it was just finding a way to, take it possession by possession, get a stop and get a score. And I think that's what we did in the second half. We stringed together stops and got out in transition and started to play our game. But it was just not letting the deficit at halftime, take away from our focus and what we needed to execute in the second half.
And that's all we have time for. Thank you both. We're going to open it up to questions for Coach Close. As a reminder, if you're joining us on Zoom, please use the raise hand function if you have a question. Okay, we're going to start in the front corner here.
Gavin Carlson, Daily Bruin, for Coach, obviously. It felt like Creighton was scoring rapidly, like in 5 seconds, 7 seconds, especially getting on the perimeter and shooting threes. Just from my point of view, it seemed like the bench was pretty upset with the inability to locate players. Sort of what changed as the game went on? Was it just a matter of getting back, and how much of that was them having a lot of perimeter players, maybe you having two bigs on the floor?
Yeah, I think that, we're used to playing, with four guards. I consider Lena and Angela like big guards, But that matchup, when they played 14, we knew we could play Lauren, and that was going to allow us to do that. But then when they sub her out and they put in 5 shooters, we knew that was going to pull her out. And I thought for a long time she did a really good job, and she got hesitant for that last 3 we gave up. But overall, I think she can do it. She's surprisingly quick. I think she was a little doubting herself after coming back from her injury, whether she could do it. And I just said, I looked her in the eye and I just said, you got to make her drive. Hard twos are not going to hurt us. Make her drive. Get your heels on the three-point line. And but I think that more than anything, it was just a will. Like, you guys, the system isn't going to do it. You got to go make plays together. And if you need to emergency switch something that we maybe didn't plan for, you do it. No layups, no threes. And how bad do you want this? You got 20 minutes to prove it. And at halftime, I really laid into them about the choices. We don't give up that many points and a half to anybody. And so we needed to just get back to doing things with our defense. I knew that if we could get enough stops, we'd score enough points. And I thought Cam was huge. And what happens is when we got jumpers when she went in because we knew we needed her to cut to the basket. So you're really having 2 bigs right around the blocks. But that's when Angela got those threes, right? And then when we were able to take her out and we were playing different lineups, then that's when Kiki was able to get downhill. And so I thought Cam, though, our ability to go offense-defense with her, because she's such an anchor for us defensively, but holding that team to 21 points in the second half, that was truly remarkable.
We're going to go in the first row with the blue top.
Lauren Wing, the Daily Bruin. About Gabriela Jaquez.
Yeah.
On Double Watch tonight, continuing her performance from Saturday as well. What can you say about, it seemed like you were trusting her on the 3. Yeah. Obviously, she's really skilled inside.
Yeah.
Her versatility, her intensity, the spark she brings for you all.
Yeah, I think that it's really the intensity and her defense and her rebounding. She wasn't having a good night. And even as we were coming off for a timeout, 2 of her teammates come up and tell Gabs to keep shooting. We know, trust her work. And it didn't go in, but she never let her missing threes affect her defense and rebounding. And I think that shows such a mental toughness. When things don't go your way on the offensive end and shots that you usually make at a good percentage, and saying, you know what, it's not going to keep me from making a winning play in another area. And that's not easy to do. And she is such a tough competitor. These kinds of games, they show you who loves to compete. And Gabriela Jaquez loves to compete. And I thought she was huge in that.
Thanks.
We're going to go in the second row in the black top.
We talked about the crowd a little bit, but there was some UCLA basketball royalty out there tonight between Ann Myers and Denise Curry. Even like Miss Val from gymnastics has kind of become a fan of you guys.
Yeah.
So what does that mean to have the support of like those who came before the
Jordan Canada, Earl Watson, Russell and Nina came out to the last game, Lacey Brewer, Drexia Morris, all of our alumni that come back. I mean, whether you're royalty or you just have Bruin in your blood, you're family. And to have our family in the building. Earl's going to New York to support us in Albany. I mean, we've just got amazing alumni, and it's just it's an honor to represent them. Mary Haggerty met me going into the hallway and was just so passionate and proud. Debbie Willie Halliday was here. I mean, the list, it's always scary when you start naming people, but I just really appreciate the Bruin bubble, the pride, the alumni, whether you're men's or women's. Kelly Anway Perez was here, softball was here. I mean, there's just so many things of, it's probably one of my favorite things about being the coach at UCLA is the family, that it really means something. If you represent the 4 letters across your chest, you are family for life. And so it's an honor to see those people, and it's an honor to play for them as we represent them on and off the court.
We're going to go in, Joe, in the third row.
Corey, you're now the 4th Pac-12 team to get to the Sweet 16. Could be 6 by the end of the night. I mean, what does it mean that in the final year of the conference to be balling like this?
Yeah, it's just like, every coach is campaigning that their conference is the best in the country. I don't know how many times I've heard that. Well, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say our numbers are backing it up. That I just think we have prepared each other to be ready for big moments, the intensity that you have to come and be ready to play with, and the solutions you have to find with all the different styles of play. It's an honor. And it was interesting, just the other day, Tara Vanderveer, who's the least person who would need to do this, sent a text message to all the other coaches and talked about what an honor it's been to coach in this conference. And then everybody was piping in all back and forth. But I just thought, it used to be Stanford and the 11 Dwarfs, and now look at it. And who's the first person to champion that balance? Tara. And I just think it really has been a very special experience. We've built this together. Taking off our institutional hats and choosing to grow the game and grow the conference was more important. And that was a really big honor to be a part of.
And then 2 games in LA tonight, 2 good crowds. I mean, what does this mean to advance the game?
I don't know what theirs was, but we had almost 9,000 in the first night, and we had almost 8,000 on a Monday night at 5:30. Women's sports is here. It's doing something. Southern California basketball for the women is amazing, and get on board. It's a growth stock, people. Like, you better get in now, and because it is spectacular. But I am so proud that Southern California is coming out to support these great players. They are working their tails off. I remember back in the summer, we were playing open gyms with each other, and it was just competitive as all get out. But this is a special time in Southern California women's basketball, and really thankful to you all that are telling these stories, creating the buzz. This is a culmination of your work as well as it is ours. And so we got to keep this thing going, because these are 2 really young teams. And this is something that we have a really special trail to blaze over the next several years.
And that's all we have time for. Thank you, Coach Close.
All right, thank you all for being here. We really appreciate you.